So here's what we're going to do today. There's no new podcast this week. So instead, what we're going to do, just because I'm floating in that Flashback Friday energy, I'm going to put out the audio of the emergency episode of the Ave Podcast that I did 2 weeks ago for the crazy NBA trade deadline with my SSA Family Members. This is on Instagram Live, so on IG Live, where we broke down the seismic Simmons Harden trade, the Porzingis trade, and everything else in between. All right, so sit back and enjoy this one on a Friday. I'll be back next week with a brand new episode, including the State of the Raptors address, the annual episode, which will be launched on March the 8th, as well as a unique draft I keep teasing, but details will be coming soon, I promise. Also, continue to hit that like and favorite button, rate, review, and subscribe. And I appreciate you all for tuning in. And I would love you just a little bit more if you click on all those stars for me. All 5 of them. You know. And check out SouthSharav.com for my show catalog. All right, one more time. That's SouthSharav.com. I don't even know what you call this episode. Let's wing it. I don't know. This is the Flashback Friday edition of the Ave that was on the IG Live, dripping in emergency pot sauce. Nailed it.
Welcome to the Ave Podcast with Cal C on South Sharav Radio.
Yo, so right now, thank you all for joining. I got my South Sharav family members with me, Julian, a.k.a. Jules the Commish, and got Randall Walter with his Black Love Splendor. Both y'all riding with me like it's Tupac and 95 hanging out the window, so I appreciate y'all for doing that. But yo, man, let's get into it, man. Obviously, there's a crazy-ass day that was going on. And basically, what was your thoughts on this whole James Harden, Brooklyn Nets, Ben Simmons 76ers trade that went down today? I mean, that's the biggest thing that's going on in the sports world right now. So, let's start with the coach first. Let's start with Coach Rand first. Let's start with Coach Rand.
It's about damn time, man. Ben has been sitting in some YMCA practicing his free throws, getting ready for that moment. But I'm surprised. Daryl Morey, man, he probably had like a heart attack today trying to get this deal done, because he didn't want to give away all those assets.
I know, he really didn't.
He was forced to do something, because look, what you going to hold on Ben for another 3 years on the bench? His value was just plummeting, and he wanted a top 25 player, so
he got it.
He got it, right? I think he was holding out for Lillard. I think he really wanted Dame.
Mm-hmm.
But he got Harden, and I think Harden's going to fit in well with Philly.
What I wanted to know is where or how long ago did Harden want out? Like, where did this come from?
I know.
Like, I only heard about this like a week going into the deadline, and I thought it was just a rumor. You know how rumors start and whatever.
Yeah, right.
But like, I'm trying to think logically. Like when did he feel this way?
When Kyrie came back.
It sounded like it. I did read an article that said him and Kyrie weren't getting along in the locker room and whatever. But it's so hard to say. Yeah, what's true and what's false.
The incense gives him a headache. That's why. He has to stop burning that crap.
Yo, but even if the personalities don't mesh, like, you have a three-headed monster. You only played 13 games.
Jules, winning solves everything. When you want to, what are they on, like a 10-game losing slide or something? If they're losing all these games,
yeah,
right? And Katie, I don't know if Katie's been in and out with injuries, and it's really been them two trying to hold it down. They just don't mesh, in my opinion, together.
Yeah, but
on and off the court. on and off the court. I don't think they fit each other's game to play together. Call it a three-headed monster or whatnot, but they were losing.
The thing that's wild, though, is like, and I was saying this to a couple of friends this week, it actually, I think I said it to you guys in one of our chat groups. I was just surprised, man. I was shocked that, like, this lasted as long as it did with Ben Simmons. I've never seen a player, to the point where, like, everybody knows what happens last year. They lose. The coach and Embiid, make a couple of comments, and that was it. Like, there was no other conversation after that. Nobody could talk to him. You know what I mean? Everything went completely sideways from that conversation. And it's funny because when you listen to, like, especially the Joel comments in the proper context, like, he threw himself under the bus too. It wasn't just Simmons he did that to. He said himself. He said, I had a turnover. I had a missed couple of shots. Ben didn't take the shot. So like it wasn't just like all Ben and that was it. Like Ben wasn't just the only one to blame. Like he blamed himself as part of that. Mm-hmm. So it's like for that to like completely break down to the point where like you don't even want to. You're not answering texts with any teammates.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? Like I just didn't think it would go to like this degree where it's like we're into February and it's like we're still talking about this. Like it was like kind of shocking to me. You know what I mean?
Yo, the telltale signs was when he was in college, too. He was a bitch in college, too. Straight up.
100.
He was a bitch in college. Didn't even help them get to the damn tourney, and he's supposed to be a #1 draft pick. Can't get your team to a tourney.
No,
he's not even talking about winning in the first round. And then when he got to Philly, still even that, the whole trust the process, out for a while, and then, not working on his three. He's a bitch.
It definitely was a build-up.
He got his way. I'm just pissed. I wanted him in purgatory. I wanted his ass stuck in Sacramento.
Yo,
I want to see his ass on Brooklyn.
Randall, I'm usually pro player. That motherfucker had me rooting for management. I was so rooting for management, man. I was all in. I was wearing Maury t-shirts. I was all in.
Yeah.
I was all in for it, man.
I don't blame Murray. I mean, I think he held out. And he got what he wanted. I mean, he gave up a lot of assets. I know a lot of people have heartburn over that, but it is what it is. I mean, you got yourself a player. It's a win now. That trust the process is win now.
Right.
You got to capitalize with Joel Embiid's prime. And you got to surround him with someone to help him. And who else are you going to put with him?
It's funny because I never thought there was a couple of things because, like I said, first off, that whole thing with, like I said, just the shock of this whole thing prolonging the way that it did. And then secondly, I thought for sure, if you told me even last month that there was going to be a trade between the Sixers and the Nets and it wasn't going to be Ben and Kyrie, I would have been shocked. I would have never thought it was Harden. Like, I'm with you, Jules. Like, I didn't think up until like a couple weeks ago, when you're hearing the rumors, you're like, what could you be mad about? Like, everybody's injured. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's hurt. One guy has, he's only playing road games, and KD's hurt. They've only played, like, what did they play? Like 20 games together overall? 20, 25 games, if that?
Yeah.
So, like, you never really got it in together. So it's like, and now you're seeing, like, with New York City, that it's looking like the mandates are going to be lifted soon, if not already in some cases, but it's going to be soon anyway, it's looking like. And, KD's going to come back, so... Shit! If everybody's healthy, like let's go. Like what's the issue? Like I don't understand.
It makes no sense to me.
No,
It makes no sense. I've been told that the strip joints are not up to snuff for him in Brooklyn.
Yeah. Seriously, I've been hearing that too.
Brooklyn?
The cost of living.
If he thinks
the lap dances are too expensive.
Philly ain't that much better, man. Yo, shout out to difference makers. You know what it is. But I'm straight up. Philly ain't that much better. Shout out to difference makers.
They're gonna have to fly a lot of. They're gonna have to fly a lot of imports in.
Yeah,
for him, yeah, because he needs it to function, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how he meshes with Embiid and how far they go.
Yeah,
Iggy, you're right. What type of James Harden are they gonna get? That's straight facts. You don't. If you get that James Harden that can help improve the other players around him, then you won. Because you don't. James Harden, like, you already got Embiid. Matter of fact, Embiid's good. Embiid's in MVP form right now. But it's more like, what is he going to do for the other guys on the court?
Mm-hmm.
And if Harden can be that kind of guy to help at least get that team humming even better than it's humming now, because they've been playing well without even Simmons.
Yeah.
Right? And the synergies are there. I love how Maxi's been playing. I'm happy they kept him, right? He didn't go.
No, he's still with them, which is great.
Yeah, Max is still there.
Yeah, which is great. I'm gifted. The gifted way. What up, difference makers, man? What's good? What's good? Thank you for coming on. I like, honestly, like, I like the trade for both teams, but then I kind of don't like it. Like, you know, in terms of Ben Simmons, I love the fact that, like, he fills a lot of holes for Brooklyn, right? Like, he fills. They needed they needed anything defensively. He's a great defender. You know what I mean? They need another creative playmaker. They got that too. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he felt that they need size. They need size as well. He does that. He transitioned. He runs the floor really well. Like, it's great. Like, what they got. They're adding more shooting with Seth Curry. You know, along with Patty Mills. You know, and then they're gonna get like some more size with Drummond, which is crazy too, right? Like, I mean, Drummond's not a good defensive player, but I mean, they just need size, right? So
yeah, they need some bigs,
especially if they're going to meet like the Embiids and like the like the Heat and the Bucks and stuff. Like, you're going to need size. So that worked out for them great. But then the flip side is, what's Ben's going to be like? What's his mental going to be like? That's the confusing part, right? Because like if he couldn't handle the critics in Philly, right? Like. And don't get me wrong, like Philly's one of the worst, like, critic-wise place, like, you know what I mean, for athletes. If you're doing bad, if you're doing great, they're all for you. But New York ain't much better. New York ain't much better than that.
He's in Brooklyn. He's in Brooklyn. It's not the Knicks. That's one. Two is that he got two other. That's not going to be his squad. He's not going to be. He's the third wheel.
Absolutely.
Right. And he's going to get to do what he does best there. Play defense, facilitate, you know what I mean? Look for the open man. There's no pressure on him to score.
Listen,
it fits his game perfectly.
I'm not disputing that part of it, but the part I dispute is again, like, if he can fall to pieces, excuse me, if he can fall to pieces, what happened during the playoffs, which is something that I don't think he should have fell to pieces for. Like, again, I understand it's Brooklyn. It's not the Knicks. It's still New York. You know, there's still the Post. There's still Page 6. Like, there's still all that there. You still got to deal with all that. You know,
he's deferring. He's not.
But he was always. But Randy was deferring before.
Yeah, but see, on that squad, he was the second best player.
Okay.
On this squad, he's the third best player. There's a big difference between being a Dwayne Wade and a Chris Bosh.
True. I'll give you that.
And he's not going to be asked to do the heavy lifting that he did in Philly, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that heavy lifting is getting critiqued for not scoring. He don't need to score.
Listen, he better, after this layoff, he better be hitting 80% from the free throw line. I mean, like, he should have been at the Y hitting free throws for the last 4 months. Like, I want to see his shot get improved. Like, obviously we all want to see that, but I better see that, like, right off the hump. I better see a jump shot, like a mid-range, not like, you know, from outside. Yeah. Secondly, he better come out killing it for all of the naysayers. He, like, you know, like, at this point, he wants to prove everybody wrong. So, like, to me, he has everything to motivate him right now to be an all-star again. So I just want to see him come out banging and showing everybody wrong, man.
Okay.
He better. He has no choice at this point. He has no choice.
And mentally, right? Mental health stuff is that going to be is it going to be like out a few weeks that we still got to take care of that, or is it like you just took some Robitussin and your mental health is fine?
He's all good, man. He's good.
Was that Randall?
He's good. He's
good. That's good, man. That's good.
Oh, we know that. I don't know if, you know, no disrespect to the man, but I don't think anybody was believing that at all.
Not a chance.
Not even a little bit.
Not a chance.
But maybe a week or two to catch his win.
He's definitely going to have to change his approach. And, like, he is who he is in terms of his personality, but from what it sounds like with his history, he doesn't get along well with a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I don't know how he's going to address that, but is who he is in terms of his personality, but from what it sounds like with his history, he doesn't get along well with a lot of people. So I don't know how he's going to address that, but that's something that at this stage in his career, he's going to have to take a long look in the mirror and figure things out, because if you don't have that chemistry, they're not going to go far either. I don't care how talented, they're not going to go far.
Yeah.
No, I agree. And then, like I said, and on the flip side, I love the trade for Philly because, I mean, Embiid right now to me is really like, I think the last 2 years, I think he's been the MVP of the league. You know, and I mean, no disrespect to the Joker and all that, but like to me, he's been the MVP the last 2 years. So now you're putting a real dog with him. You know what I mean? You're putting a guy that can get you like 30, 35, no problem. You know what I mean? Like, I think that part of it is great. I think this playmaking is gonna be on point. The other part is, again, to difference makers' point, which Harden are you getting? Is Harden gonna be in shape? Is he gonna, like, if things aren't going his way? Because you gotta look at it from this perspective, right? Like, when he was in Houston, he had issues with Dwight Howard, right? He had issues with Chris Paul when he got there. He had issues with Russell Westbrook, who was supposed to be his boy when he got there for 1 year. They couldn't work that shit out. Then he gets traded to Brooklyn, you know, to supposed to be for his boy, you know, KD and for Kyrie. And that shit couldn't work out. Less than a year later, you know, he's on another team again. So if stuff doesn't work out quite like how he likes, you know, right off the top, I want to see what happens there. Like, is this going to be a situation where it's like all of a sudden he's out the window again?
Yeah.
And that's
history
right?
tells us, yeah. History tells us, yeah. And you know, the funny thing is, Embiid is not the type to like mix words. You know, like he's like the type to not call him out in the media, but like he seems like he'll call you out in practice. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. I personally think Harden is on the decline. I think he's
33.
He's 33. He's heavier.
Well, yeah, he's gonna be 33 by the end of this summer. But yeah, he's been in the league like 14 years, 13, 14 years. It's 13th season right now.
Yeah. So like exactly. So that window is like this year or next year. It's like 2 years max. I think he opted in anyhow. But
did he opt in? I wasn't sure about that.
I thought I read that he opted in. I gotta double check, but I'm
what
pretty sure he opted in.
So they got him for just 1 more year after this?
As of now, from what I understand, but I'm not sure. But the point is that they have to win this year and next, and I don't think they're going to get the Harden of Houston or of old. This is who he is at this point, and we'll see how it goes.
Well, the one thing I'm excited about is the whole pick and roll thing with him and Embiid. I think that's going to be ridiculous.
It's going to be fun.
That pick and roll action is going to be nasty. Because you can go, you know, Embiid could dive, he could kick out, you know what I mean? Like, they could run secondary pick and rolls. Like, I think that's going to get crazy.
But I still think it's still Milwaukee to win it all. I still think that they are the team to beat. And I don't know. I don't know how much better. Philly definitely gets better. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know if they get that better where like they're guaranteed to go to the conference. Well, they get to the conference finals for sure, but I don't think they get past Milwaukee.
Well, I think with Milwaukee, I think the biggest thing is like they've had their share of injuries too, but you know they won. They've been together. This is the nucleus is really strong here, right? So I think when the three of them play, Giannis, Middleton, and Holiday play, they're 22-5.
Really?
Right. So. And you can see when they play, like the game is easy for them, right? So I agree with that sense. I think they're going to be a tough out again.
I'm just mentioning that because I'm mentioning that because Philly gave up a lot. Like I think, like in the 2 first-round picks, and for Harden to win in the next 2 years, which is not guaranteed. Obviously, in the NBA, anything could happen, but I just don't see it happening. I don't see them winning it at all. Not with the way Harden's playing.
But I mean, you don't think Harden is an upgrade?
Oh, 100%.
What they currently have right now?
Oh, 100%.
100%.
They gave up a lot of future assets and stuff like that. But for what they have right now, they're one of the top 3 teams in the East. Adding Harden doesn't boost them. I'm playing devil's advocate because I don't think I think Milwaukee's they added Ibaka and that's going to help them tremendously. But Milwaukee doesn't strike fear in me. Like they can easily as easily as they can win it all, like win out the East, they can easily lose in the first round to me.
Who, Milwaukee?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think they're. I'm not. There's nothing in Milwaukee that strikes like they're a great team. Don't get me wrong, but don't say that they're that nice because last year they won the chip, but I think it was like it wasn't overwhelming like that they won it. You know what I mean? I wasn't like their team was that great last year. I think they had a great playoff run, and I still think that they could get knocked out in the playoffs. I don't think they're for sure winner.
Well,
you think heads and heels, you would put money that Milwaukee could go back to back and win it again this year.
Well, it's the NBA, so it's hard to predict. But
no, I'm just saying.
Go on, Julian. Go on.
No, I was just saying, like coming out of the East, no team really scares me. To answer your question, to be honest with you, Chicago, I like what Chicago's doing, but even Chicago doesn't scare me. You know what I'm saying? Giannis scares me in playoffs. Like he does. Like himself. Middleton does. Holiday, not really, but just as a team, I think the Bucks is one of the few teams in the East. Miami doesn't scare me either, to be honest.
But Miami doesn't either.
Right? And those are like the top 4 teams right there, right? Brooklyn did scare me beforehand, before Harden was dealt. But Brooklyn doesn't Brooklyn scares me a little bit with a healthy KD. They do. But what I'm just saying is to trade all these assets for this 2-year window, to me, is too much, and I don't see it happening because I do see Bucks still being a better team than the Nets. I mean, than Philly right now still. But we'll see. We don't know.
I was going to say I think there's a potential for this rivalry to be great right now between the Nets and the Sixers.
Yeah.
Being the fact that they made this trade and they're both in the same division, they're going to face each other 4 times. And God forbid if they meet in the playoffs. Like I think there's a 90s level type of beef that could be happening right now. Because I don't know if you guys saw it tonight, but KD had to select his all-star team, and he didn't select. He went out of his way not to select Harden. Right, Harden was actually the last pick.
Yeah,
Harden
KD
was actually the last pick. So that was a shot, right? That was a shot, and you saw Embiid already. He's already trolling Simmons on Twitter. So there's that, and he's not afraid of doing that, getting into getting the War Awards and going down this whole Instagram meme Twitter beef. He ain't afraid to do all that, right? So
Kyrie said it too. Kyrie said something already too.
Yeah,
Kyrie was like, "Yeah, I'm so happy he's gone," or something. He said something crazy already.
Really?
Yeah. I saw it today.
And that's the thing too, right? Like, and then the fan bases, right? Like, I mean, Brooklyn's fan base isn't as deep as Philly's, but they're not gonna like Harden after what happened here. Like the fact that he quit already within a year, and then like the Nets are coming to Philly March 10th. You know Philly's waiting for Ben Simmons. They're waiting to snatch him out the sky, right? So, like, I think I'm excited just for that part of it. Like. And the Raptors are in this division too, so I mean, it's gonna make for like some wars, man.
And that
that's
what makes the NBA so amazing, like one of the best sports in the league, right? Like everything off season, trades, just like all the rivalries, from team rivalries to player rivalries. It's gonna be great, man. Like the second half. So looking forward to it.
Now, we can come back to this part in a moment because I think we only got an hour here. So let me just wrap for some of these questions quickly. But what are your thoughts on this Porzingis trade? I thought it was a little weird.
Man.
Oh, man. Yeah, go ahead, Jude.
No, like I heard earlier in the day there was a rumor that the Raptors were interested, and I saw the proposed trade, and it was just like Dragic and like I can't remember who else was like Flynn and like a protected
Boucher.
like first Boucher. It was something like that. It wasn't even a draft pick. Wasn't even involved.
No, it was involved.
Was there a draft pick involved?
Yeah.
So, but anyhow, the point was that's not a lot that the Raptors were giving up. So I thought this was like just a rumor, like You know, it didn't make any sense and whatever.
Right.
Fast forward to see the actual trade. It was for Spencer Dinwiddie and Bertans, right? I think for Bertans, yeah, and Spencer Dinwiddie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's it?
Yeah.
That's it? And then I'm like, so now I'm not saying Porzingis is a stud. Like I'm one of the biggest haters on Porzingis. To me, he's like Bargnardi 2.0.
You already know what I think, so don't even.
Right. So I'm
like
not
I
a
said,
fan of.
Like I said, you can't even call him the unicorn no more. His name is Kristaps Porzingis. Don't ever call him the unicorn anymore. That shit is over with.
I'm not a fan of him.
He's a unicorn because we never seen him play.
Nah.
That too. Well, that too, yeah.
Not
He's soft.
You just never see him, right? You never see unicorns. You never see him.
Yeah, he's so soft.
He's injured now.
Yeah, is he injured now? Right? So
No.
Okay, I'm about to say.
No, I would never pick him up in fantasy, ever.
So it seemed like Cuban and them were like, let's just dump his salary. Like, let's just get him off the books. Like, we're done with him. We tried it. He's soft. They obviously know more than what we know about his health. Maybe his approach to the game. Something they saw that they don't like. And you know what? And it was something that the Knicks saw that they didn't like either. So to me, it's like he is who he is at this point. And I don't know. I know Washington was happy to get rid of Bertans' contract too. So it was like a contract dump for each other. But I don't know. Porzingis to be traded for Spencer Dinwiddie and Bertans is a low that nobody's seen coming like 5 years ago. Nobody saw this coming.
Yeah, it's a shot to his ego, because when I heard it was a package around Spencer Dinwiddie, I'm like, I like Spencer Dinwiddie, but like he's not even the same guy that he was, pre-injury right now. Like he's still, you can see his knee still ain't right. He doesn't have an explosion. Do you guys remember the time when like Porzingis was compared to like the Freak and Bede and
Dirk.
AD, that star that was gonna that unique superstar that might be coming down the pipeline? You remember that? Remember how that seemed like it was 2 years ago?
Yeah, man, like 6'11", a guy that can shoot. Nowadays, honestly, his game is like there's so many other players now that are 6'10" that can shoot. Like he's no longer that unicorn where people thought like it was a rare commodity for him to have that ability. Now he's like he doesn't even go in the paint. He doesn't rebound.
No,
he's not a 5 really.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
I felt like in New York he had the opportunity to kind of bang a little bit more, and I feel like his game was a little bit more open in New York. Where I'm not sure what's going on, if it's injury, system, whatever it is. It seems like he's. Part of the whole unicorn thing was that he was able to play inside and outside, right?
And defensively too. Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't. I mean, his defense was kind of like Boucher to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
not a great
shot
defender, but yeah, coming off the weak side help. Coming for the block. He was good at that kind of stuff. But I wouldn't say he's great, but he was better than he is now. Put it that way. Right? I think he really needs a new environment potentially. I don't think he fits the style of the Raptors though.
No, we didn't need him.
What they need. We didn't need him.
But if we didn't have to give up much for him, I would have taken him.
Yeah, but what does he make? $33 million a year?
Yeah,
like at least 30.
3 more, like 3 more years too. 3-4 more years.
Nah.
I don't even think it's worth that.
He can unicorn. He can unicorn his ass out of here.
What else to think?
He's going to his ass to Chocolate City. He likes black girls, so he's good to go.
Does he?
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
So they get some vanilla in Chocolate City. Okay.
Got it, brother. Him and Ovi can start. Hey, dude, you know Ovi. Ovi get down like that. So. Everyone that don't know, Drew's brother played in the NHL with Ovi. So shout out to Joe Ward.
That's hilarious.
And shout out to Chocolate City, but I mean, we ain't going there to watch him play.
Yeah.
He probably won't even be playing.
No, like right now, like I think he's just like if he can't stuff stats at least on this squad right now, like to me it's over. Like at this point, because I mean he's still relatively young. Like he still has time to do something. But like if you can't even like this year at least stuff the stats, because there is. I mean, Beal's done for the year. I mean you got Rui Hachimura who's still trying to find his legs. I mean, really outside of Kuzma at this point, I mean, like all their moves they made today was basically just to clear cap space and basically look for the lottery. Like that's all they were doing.
Yeah.
You know, because Carroll's gone. You know, I mean, they picked up Ish Smith. They were just clearing house.
Yeah,
this team is into the lottery.
They're definitely playing for next year at this point.
But you know what? Porzingis is back in the East, man. You never know.
Yeah, you know, right? You're right.
It might have that DeRozan effect, right?
Yep.
Going back East might do a body good for him. Let's see. Let's hope.
And you might have a chip on his shoulder as well. Like he may want to prove something again. That's one thing about trades, right? Like you always want to stick it to your old team, stick it to the haters or who thought, you know, that you were washed up or whatnot. So he might bounce back, but he's still he's still never healthy. So it doesn't really matter to me at this point.
And then for the Mavericks too, like I don't understand the trade for them really either. You know what I mean? Like it's like they got Dinwiddie, but like they already have guards. Like it's weird, right? Like I think they're showing they've had some level of success without KP at this point, without Porzingis at this point. So I think they're just gonna ride with it and just really build around Luka. I know they signed Dorian Finney-Smith an extension. They got him on that one for like I think it's 4 years and $52 million. So he's on that right now.
Yeah, but
I mean,
just
the rest of the team. Sorry, go ahead, Julian.
No, yeah, he's not really a core player. He's like a role player.
He's like a role player. Yeah. He's a piece off.
I think what it is though that they have Jalen Brunson, who is their I guess point guard, I guess if you want to say, or one of the ball handlers, and I think he's a UFA at the end of this year. So. And he is asking for a lot. Yeah. Right? So this is like kind of insurance package for them. And they always needed help with point guards. Like I mean like that's why they want to drag it or they need somebody that can be a main ball handler. Well, yeah, and now they have Dinwiddie. Exactly.
You think Dragic is still going there?
No. Sorry, not Dragic, my bad. But he did get bought out. Did they buy him out already, San Antonio? Yeah, I think they bought him out already.
Not yet. They're going to, though. Not yet, but they're going to.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's gone. Yeah.
But yeah, the point is that they need a point guard next year as well. So. Yeah.
No, absolutely. But it's just like that. They're clearly going to be looking to go after a second star at this point, and I'm like, but I'm just not sure who that second star is going to be. Like, is it going to be? Could it be Jaylen Brown maybe? Like, I don't know. I don't know who that second star would be right now. I don't know who that guy is right now. But clearly it's going to be somebody because like that Finney-Smith contract. That's a contract that tells me like that's going to be packaged at some point.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be. When you have a superstar like Luka, like you gotta bring in as much help as you can. And Finney-Smith, those guys, that's not it.
and on top of that, on Washington's side, I mean, they got rid of Harrell. Do people like Montrez anymore?
You know what I said earlier.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he cannot, like he doesn't stay no longer than a year on a team.
Yeah,
like a year or 2 years.
Set it's expendable. You got a guy that's an energy player, dude. He's an energy player. Like he's not a someone that's going to be a huge difference maker, or even a starter in the NBA anymore. He's an undersized center.
100%. But
he can't stretch the floor or play defense.
Yeah,
terrible in the pick and roll.
But that doesn't equate to being traded every offseason or every year. You know, to me, there's something else to it as well.
Yeah, he might be also just an easier pace to move as well.
But the funny thing is, I actually like it for Charlotte though, because I think Charlotte, when you watch their games, like they're one of the most exciting teams to watch. But there's no intensity on the inside. All they got is Plumlee. You know, Plumlee's not the most physical guy. At least with Harrell, at least he brings that. He brings that energy that they're going to need. Especially they're going to make this run for the play-in and try to make the playoffs and stuff. Like it's a good piece to add. Like there's nothing wrong with it. Especially 100%. They gave up like Ish Smith. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like I think it's actually a good move for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What was the underrated trade for you guys that like just this whole week, much less today, like that you guys really liked? And you can name more than one if you have more than one.
Underrated trade.
I liked the Derek White trade to Boston, and I think, like, I don't know if you like, not many people watch Spurs games and whatnot, but I think Boston really needed like a distributor, like a point guard or a big guard on top of that, that can play defense and that can score. He's like he can do a little bit of everything, and I think, like, I was wishing that the Raptors got him, like, and that's what we need.
Really?
Yeah, because I think we don't have enough ball handlers. Like, I think we just have really Van Vliet, to be honest with you. No, everybody can. Don't get me wrong. Everybody can bring up the ball. So don't get me wrong. But I mean, like, somebody that is like
that can be a playmaker.
Yeah. And we don't have that. We don't have a playmaker on the team. To be honest with you, we don't.
No.
Of course you do. We have Flynn.
Scott.
I don't want Flynn's dad on me or his mom on me, man.
That's true. Yo, sorry,
I'm not even gonna say nothing then, because I was about to say I was hoping they package his ass out of here. I thought we were gonna get some flip up for something. You know, I wasn't expecting Masai or Webster, Bobby to go ham at the trade deadline. I knew that there's some small moves, but I did think they would get not a stopgap center. I still think that I like the movement of the length, but I still think we need a true center.
Yeah, we do. We do. We need another 5 and another ball handler.
Yeah.
Right. And we need bench. We need like some more on the bench. So we did address that with Thaddeus Young, and which I'm a huge Young fan, because he plays within his game, and he's smart. You know. But anyhow, going back to the thing, Derek White. I like White. I like the Norm Powell trade. That was like, shoot.
Oh yeah.
Like that was for nothing. I think literally.
That was a fleet job.
I'm shocked that they gave all that up.
That was upsetting.
It wasn't just who was involved in the deal. It wasn't just there's someone else.
Covington.
I like Covington. I mean, I know his time in Portland's kind of done, but I think that's a great move for LA.
Oh man!
And I heard Kawhi might be coming back this year.
I don't see it. I know I keep hearing that, but I don't see it. Like, this is Mr.
George. If they get George and him back with Powell, with Covington now, you know,
off the bench.
I still think they're lacking in the middle, though. I'm surprised they didn't get someone. Now, I was thinking maybe they would have went for someone like a Nerlens Noel or something. Like you said, that Jules, to me, that was probably the best trade right there.
Yeah.
I think a combination of that and on a low, like an underrated move. I really like that Ibaka going to the Bucks. Like, I really like as an underrated move. As an underrated move. I'm not saying it's the best move.
I don't think it's. I think it's Brook is out. I don't think Brook's going to come back anytime soon.
Yeah, it seems like it.
No, that's what it seems like to me.
I just think that Ibaka, there's more to meet the eye there. Like he's regressed a lot in like a year. As he's still injured, his back is just killing him. I don't think he's going to be that effective there. I'd be hard pressed to say he plays a lot until the playoffs hit.
Well, that's what you want, right? You don't care about now, because if he's giving you like 15 minutes a night right now, it's still a useful 15 minutes. Yeah. You know, he's not going to be playing like what he was on the Raptors or, you know, in the bubble.
To me, right? But to me, that's what like Cousins was doing when he was there, when they let him go, right? So
yeah, I was shocked on that one. And he was playing really well with them.
Yeah, like just keep him. Like Ibaka is a bit of an upgrade, but he's not that much of an upgrade at this point in his career.
I agree with that.
And Bobby Portis is flick. He's hooping. Oh my!
He's balling.
Yo, this guy hitting like 6 threes a game or something. Like I'm telling you. He stepped up. So you know, Ibaka just has to give 10 minutes. That's it. 10, 15 minutes. That's it.
No, I think it's amazing when like you land on the right squad. I think that's what that shows you, right? Like he landed on the right squad. Like it's perfect for him. Like whatever it is, it's, you know, the environment, the culture, plus they won. He's appreciated there. Like he's playing free right now. Every time this guy hits like more than 2 threes, this guy's doing the gritty. You know, he's Harlem shaking. Like he's enjoying himself right now.
Yo, and he's playing in the starting lineup with a healthy squad. Like, he's literally in the lineup now.
Yeah,
but,
and he's needed. He's needed.
He is. They need big.
He's definitely needed. I know we got probably about 5 or so minutes left, so we'll save the Raptor conversations for the State of the Raptors address, the podcast we do every year, the annual one. So I'll save. We should probably save our comments for that show. In terms of the rest of the Raptors stuff, but I want to get, before we go, I want to get like your winners and losers of this trade deadline. So do you think, in terms of Brooklyn, do you think they're a winner or loser?
I think they're a winner from what they got for Harden at this stage of his career.
I think so too.
They got two number one draft picks.
2 number 1 picks.
Was it 2 number 1s? I thought it was just
yes.
1.
2 number 1s.
2.
And I think 2 number 1s. I think it's 2024 and 27 or something. And then on top of that, they got all those assets. I'm shocked that they were able to squeeze out Curry. I think that's an underrated move.
I know.
People sleep. He's balling. This is not the Curry from like Dallas days we talking about. He's balling.
Yeah.
Man. No, he's legit. He's definitely legit. And what about Philly? Do you think is Philly a winner or loser?
I'm not a Harden fan, so and again, I kept on I don't know. To me, like, he's just not very in shape either. Like, he's getting older.
Yeah.
He lost his athleticism, but then he's not in shape. He's putting on weight.
Yeah, but guys, he's still a top 25 player in the NBA.
Yeah, 100%.
Listen,
There's no argument there.
Listen, Simmons was done. What you would not be able to get a better deal than that. What other deal are you going to get? They were talking about C.J. McCollum for him.
No. I understand that, but for what they gave up,
they
for
gave
him.
up a lot. Yes. But if you were down to the wire, right, and you're a GM, and that was the final asking price after all the negotiation, and that deal would have slipped through your hands, it could have been, you would have had everybody saying he should have done it anyway. You would have said that. Everyone would have said that. I mean, it's a steep price, but it's not it's not like they got fleeced like when they got Harden from Houston with all those draft picks and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I'm okay with it. Like, I'm just saying, I'm just answering the question. I'm not a big fan, and I don't think Philly's gonna come. They're gonna come out of it what they wanted to come out of it, which is a chip, and I don't think that's happening.
Yeah.
Yo, I want to mention one quick thing before you. I actually thought you guys may not agree with me. I actually thought Sacramento deal was a great deal.
I was gonna mention that. I was gonna ask.
I think the Sabonis deal was a good deal.
I don't know, man.
I know I'm in the minority here.
Yeah,
I love Halliburton.
I love Burton.
Don't get me wrong, but you're getting a 25-year-old center that can shoot, who averages 25 and 5. You already have Fox. So we had this debate: who would you rather start your franchise with, Fox or Halliburton? Right? So, that's for another show. But I said Fox, and I got chastised for it. They got Mitchell, so he was kind of expendable, Halliburton, and you get Sabonis. So I don't know. Anyhow, I just wanted to mention that I actually liked that deal. Not like extremely loved it. I didn't love it, but I didn't think it was as bad as the media and everybody made it out to be.
Well, I think part of the reason why they're getting killed for it is because Halliburton really wanted to be a part of the Kings. He said he was balling when he got traded.
He was.
Yeah, so, I understand that part of it, because, I mean, how rare is it now for somebody from the Kings, and this is like the early 2000 Kings that actually wants to be in Sacramento, and you got rid of that guy, you know?
And a character guy, too. I think he's going to be a natural-born leader. Like, he's a leader, I think.
Yeah.
And those are hard to find. Like, somebody who can bring it on and off the court in the locker room. And, so I do understand that. I'm just saying I like Sabonis and what he can bring. But anyhow.
Now he's stuck in Indy. and that's like almost becoming like a player's like.
Yeah,
That's like a graveyard, man.
for talent.
It just it was almost becoming like Detroit.
Yo,
A couple losses in Detroit, man.
but you know what? I like the move for Marvin Bagley. I just hope the Kings didn't screw him up too much.
Yeah,
I just hope the Kings didn't screw him up too much because I don't think he's a bad player, but I just think the Kings culture just you know how they do.
Yeah,
you know how the
they
Kings do.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you just hope like he still has his confidence, and if he does, I think he's got a chance to like maybe do something on the Pistons.
You just got to stay healthy, put on some weight,
Got
play
to
bigger,
stay healthy for sure.
and then
like the
be
youth,
consistent.
The last question I want to ask, and this is just for trolling purposes, Lakers, winners or losers?
Come on, Steve. Come on, Steve.
They've been losing.
Yo, I would say just hide Westbrook. They're better without him. Like,
But let's be real.
like, package him out. I don't know.
Nobody saw this coming on how bad he was going to be. No, don't get me wrong.
No, we didn't.
We didn't
Not
think it was
this
going to
bad.
work, though. We definitely didn't think it was going to work. I know I didn't.
No.
I thought it was
Well,
gonna work, but I thought
But not to
you
this
know,
degree. Not to this
no.
degree.
But I personally thought that because I knew LA was going to have a lot of injuries with that older roster, right? And I knew they'd do a lot of resting. And I figured that he would have a chance to he's better when he kind of carries a team. But the problem is I don't think they have enough shooters around him. They don't have the right squad around him, right, to complement his game. And him and LeBron, they don't mesh well together in the court. LeBron needs spacers. He needs spacers. He needs the ball in his hands. LeBron needs the ball in his hands.
And not everybody can play with LeBron. Not every star can play with LeBron. And I think you can see in his head, like, his head is fried. Like, he can't do it. I'm not blaming LeBron, but I'm just saying, like, you know, like, I think his head is kind of fried. He needs the ball in his hands. And then on top of that, too, like, you know, I think I was thinking, too, like, yeah, during the regular season, he's going to carry them at certain points of the season.
Yeah,
but he's also, like, 14 years in, too. Multiple knee surgeries. You can see, like, physically, he's starting to, like, he still has it, but it's not as consistent as before. You know what I mean? So
who are you talking about, LeBron?
You can't depend.
Talking
about Westbrook.
Oh, you had me worried.
Westbrook
Okay.
carry you like how he was like 5-6 years ago. You know what I mean? Because he's in his 30s too. He's in the league 14 years now.
Yeah. He's also just like LeBron. That is difficult sometimes to play with LeBron to find the role. It's also difficult to play with Westbrook as well, because he plays at his own like beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'll grab the ball and he's gone. And he thinks too fast, obviously. So like, he's difficult to play with. So that's why he has to be a player, honestly, that doesn't have the ball in his hand, but he can't shoot. So when you work, there's no role for him. There's no role for him.
What's getting highlighted too is that he's just making some bad decisions too on the court. Just
thinking too fast. That's all but he's known for that. He's known for like
maybe
6 or 7 turnovers
now.
a game.
Everything's highlighted because they're losing, and he's in LA, and he's playing with LeBron.
But a guy like him too, like his game is the way his game is designed. Like is like, you know, towards the end of his career, it's gonna be more like Iverson than it is like a Nash.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like
this guy was yelling at
be pretty. The end is not gonna be pretty.
Yelling at the coach for not starting and not finishing the game.
Starting was not finishing, right?
For not finishing. Yeah. And he was like upset, even though he was playing like shit, and he was upset. So he has that ego. He's sensitive, right? So it's going to be really hard to change for him to accept a new role. And they have another year with him next year, I think, right?
Yeah. Yep. Good luck.
Good luck. And nobody wants him.
No. Nobody.
But I don't. The thing is, I don't feel sorry for the Lakers at all, because number one, they got a chip. You know, like this whole thing with like LeBron and AD, it worked because they won a chip. They won it. And like they could have had DeRozan. They wanted to go to Westbrook instead. They could have kept Caruso. They didn't want to do that either. You know what I mean? So like there's like these things are coming to bite them in the ass now. Like this is it. Like this is who they got to be with, right? And
could have had Lowry.
Like, yeah, they could have had Lowry. They could have moved Lowry for THT.
And look, how's that working out for you now?
Exactly.
Yeah. So
They wouldn't give you him up for a bag of donuts.
that's why Pelinka has to get more heat. Even LeBron a little bit has to get more heat because he's in the back offices, in these deals. Yeah, they got it. Like that's where all the scrutiny should be on the GM because they had options and they chose.
Well, I think it's on the two. I think it's on the two of them. I think LeBron gets blamed for that too because he's the one.
That's what I said. Yeah,
absolutely.
He's a better player than GM LeBron right now.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, I think I'm not a Laker hater. I'm not necessarily a LeBron hater, but I think it is like it's like the fact. I mean, before I went to bed last night, I'm like, yo, did they really lose to Portland? Like I didn't watch the game, but I'm like, when I saw the score, I saw the ticker, I'm like, wait a minute, did they say Portland won? I'm like, nah, that can't be right. I had to check my phone to make sure that like that was legitimate.
I know, man. I lost out on some money on that game.
Yo, I swore by the time I had my lunch, that thing was going to be fired. For sure. Yeah, because Portland beat them. I woke up in the morning and I saw that, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? They lost to Portland? Yo, that you got to make a change somehow. If you're not going to make a trade, you fire the coach.
But the thing is, it's tough because I'm like, again, the way the team is constructed, like I can't blame Vogel for this.
I know.
I know he's the scapegoat, but like, it's not right though. Yeah, I don't think it's right.
They lost to Portland, I said. a depleted Portland team. Depleted.
I mean, they were playing Anthony. They were not Hardaway or Simmons. But Simon's been balling though a little bit.
Yeah, there was who was it? Allerby or somebody was. I've just seen highlights of people just running up on them. And I'm like, yo, who is this guy?
It was a G League squad.
Yo.
Yeah, their roster right now looks like one of those like 2K lineups where they just invent the players and they just put them on. Like Randall Ellerby, like who's that? Like that's the name, like the CPU, the stimulator picked up. That's what it looks like.
Yo, and beat the Lakers.
That was wild, and they can't blame Westbrook for that because he was in his train conductor outfit sitting on the bench. So you can't even blame him. You know what I mean?
He was smiling inside. Inside, he felt pretty good. He did 100%.
For sure.
He felt good.
Sure, man. Nah, man. But yo, guys, I appreciate you guys. Doing this the first live IG session, for the Ave Podcast, man. So, I definitely want to do some more of these during the year, especially during playoff time and stuff too. So,
for sure.
But yeah, man, I definitely appreciate y'all just hopping on and working on this, first time experiment with me.
Yeah, no worries. Always.
Yeah, man. Much love to y'all, man. And I'm making a comeback in fantasy. I'm telling you that right now. I don't care where I'm at. I'm coming for y'all. Don't look away, Randall. Don't look away. I'm coming for y'all.
And I'm coming for you.
You've never been a threat, Calvin. To be honest,
I've been tanking. I'm just hoping that come playoff time, I know my squad is championship caliber. I'm just trying to get. I just been missing everybody. I had the number one spot.
You did earlier on,
and then my whole squad went out.
There was about a 2-week period that I had about 9 O's beside my players' names. Yeah. 9. I'm like, really? What are you supposed to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was taking L's left and right. I'm just like,
it always seems like you have 9 O's anyway.
I'm winning this week, Randall. It's all good. Coming for you, man. Coming for you too, Julie. Don't worry about that. I'm listening.
My team's coming into form, so we'll see. But on that note, fellas, I'm out.
Yeah, man.
We will catch up.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all, man. And everybody for coming on. Thank you. Thank you all for coming on today, too.
All right. Late.
Peace.